Hey everybody, it's your girl Bo Sierra and welcome to the Bo Sierra Experience. I have two guests with me today, my husband Dre.
What's good?
And my good friend GoShanBeatz. Go follow him on Instagram at GoShanBeatz_.
Bam.
So we have a few topics to talk about today. Traveling and expanding your horizons. And since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I do not want to miss the opportunity to talk about mental health awareness and the different perspectives of someone having a mental health issue and the perspective of a spouse and a friend dealing with someone having a mental health issue. So if you guys want to go in and talk a little bit, introduce yourselves, let people know who you are. I will have them on semi-regularly. So let's get into it.
I go first, Sean. Go, you wait.
Go ahead, Carmel.
Go ahead, Carmel.
You anyway.
And I'm just here to provide some personal, personality, some feedback. I will give y'all a disclaimer that y'all might not like a lot of my opinions.
He is very opinionated.
But at the end of the day, I will try to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Reasonable.
Considerate.
So, considerate, reasonable, all that good stuff. And, so if y'all need me, holla at your boy. I get money.
All right, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Go, Sean.
GoShanBeatz, I'm the music producer of the world. No, I'm not kidding. What's up, it's kind of cool going on this podcast with a good friend of mine. I'm actually excited today to be on this podcast because she has some really interesting topics she's talking about today, and I definitely want to be a part of that, especially the mental health, because I've had people or dealt with people with mental issues.
All right, so let's talk about, because I know you have mentioned that you miss Vegas and you want to go back and travel some more. And me and Dre just recently visited Vegas for his birthday / Mother's Day.
May 12th.
Nobody invited. Nobody sent an invite.
BTO, you don't know what the fuck going on.
Nobody gonna send an invite. Like holler at your boy. I get some money. Like, hey, you going to Vegas?
I told you we should plan a trip. We can get all of us together and plan a trip.
You know what? Definitely do that. I am being dead serious.
I'm serious.
But no, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're fine. Just to give you guys a little background about myself, I have a 3-year-old, so you may hear him in the background sometimes. He is obsessed with superheroes, and he's obsessed with Spider-Man, and he thinks Spider-Man dead right now. So if you hear him, that's him just letting us know
that Spider-Man is dead.
Pretty much. So, back to the topic, traveling. Like I said, we can start planning the trip. All we need to know is what date, so Dre can schedule the days off, and we can start planning.
All right,
I'm down for that. But I got a question for the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Traveling. What is your ideal travel spot? Like, where do you want to go?
I'll go ahead and go first. I'm taking Dre's spot. He was too slow.
All right.
Ideal spot? Well, actually, I traveled once by myself to Toronto. That was an amazing experience.
Oh, yeah, I remember. You had that competition.
Yep. I will say I will encourage people not to be afraid to travel by themselves. A lot of times, you see those movies and you hear about those people getting kidnapped and stuff like that. Now that's a serious issue and a real fear.
Yeah.
But if you calculate it just right and you have the right intentions on going or traveling somewhere, you'll be fine, honestly, unless you're going somewhere completely low key, bad, and it's bad, then okay,
yeah.
Asking for it. But if you have a plan and you have an intention to for business or just like vacation or just getting away from from family or issues of your own, I don't see anything bad happen to anyone, especially if they're going on that journey on their own like that.
And I agree. And I feel like, just to touch on the safety issue, being in a heavily populated area, especially with other tourists, do resorts, highly rated resorts, and especially if you're traveling alone, just make sure you do your research before you go anywhere. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's a good place to go.
Exactly.
Because recently a husband and wife from New York was found murdered because they were coming from the Caribbean, and they took a route that they were advised not to take, and they came up dead. And it's just, you got to make sure you know where you're going, how you getting there, where you go be, and make sure people like your family and everything knows where you going, how you getting there, and where you go be.
Exactly.
Just in case, like, you don't call whoever that person is, quote unquote, your emergency contact, and they know, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. Like, just make sure you cover all your bases. There's nothing wrong with traveling alone, but just make sure you come home.
Right. Like I said, it goes back to your intentions. I mean, if your intention is just to kind of go and see the city, you go and see the city. Don't go and see the city and go down some random street just because it looks cool. Like, don't do that.
Right, and the piggyback off what both of them said is kind of like, you got to be smart. At the end of the day, you can't let your own intuition dictate where you go, because, like she said, unfortunately for the two people that passed, they took a route that they were advised not to take. Now, I don't know the circumstances on what they did, on why they made that decision, but they made that decision, and unfortunately, they aren't in this realm of existence anymore. So, you just gotta be smart. If it feels bad, trust your gut. Don't take routes that people who, think about it like this: if they know the area better than you do, you don't know nothing.
Right.
You are familiar with your backyard, your white picket fence, etc., etc. You gotta trust the people that know that area well. If they tell you not to go somewhere, don't do it. Don't be prideful. Put your pride to the side. Stop being, stop having a godlike mindset where you can go and you have the freedom to do whatever you want, because you don't. Listen to what they tell you, because it's to your benefit. Now, we can get into some fun. I just came back from Vegas. Like I said, May 12th, big TO tourists, as you know, we in the freaking building. And I enjoyed myself out in Vegas, even though I had a fear of getting pickpocketed, because I have a fear of people with fast hands. People with fast hands scare me. You can do a lot with hands, because, normally the societal norm is to look people in the eyes. I'm not looking people at their hands, so they might finesse me for my rollie, even though I ain't got no rollie, you know what I'm saying? I'm living on Uncle Sam's paycheck right now, you know what I'm saying? So, but I like traveling. I do like seeing sights. I like seeing the mountainside when we driving, even though I hate long drives. Next time we flying.
Hell yeah.
But traveling is good. I remember when I used to work at Walmart, one of my elders, I will respect this man, I won't put out his name, but he told me a very vital piece of advice that kept me going. He says a lot of people don't make it 25 miles out of the city that they're in, and that's kind of sad, because
they don't see nothing.
Yeah, you're not expanding your horizons. You don't see things that you're used to. You're not seeing things that you're not accustomed to, and you might actually enjoy seeing different things, and it might open up a new perspective on how you live. So I'll advise anybody to travel. Just make sure you stay safe. Stop being prideful. Understand that you aren't running shit pretty much, and go out, see the world, man. You only live once, so.
I will also add, be aware of your resources too. A lot of times people, they want to travel on an empty tank, and you're kind of asking for it. A lot of times people get lucky, and some people can help them along the way, but save yourself that worry and make sure you have the resources, the money, the food. Like, If
Yeah.
a car breaks down, do you have a backup plan? Things like that. You hope none of those things will, lead up to that. But it's never too much to be safe and to be prepared.
Right.
And bringing that up, you segued into what I want to talk about really, really well. I have been on 3 road trips in less than a year.
Wow.
Yeah. All thanks to my husband.
All right, hubbo.
I've seen a lot of places. I've flown a couple places. I've driven a couple places. Well, I haven't driven when I was younger, but we went on one long road trip when I was younger. I barely remember it. The only thing I remember is that I was car sick the whole entire time. But the first road trip I went on was to San Antonio, Texas, to visit my husband at basic training. And I will say I slept through most of that, unless I was driving. But I say at least one time, get a couple friends, a nice reliable car, or you can rent a car or something, and just map out somewhere to go and have everybody rotate driving, because you see a lot of stuff that you don't really realize is out there. Like on the way back from San Antonio, I drove from San Antonio to DeSoto, Texas, and it was so pretty. Like, even though there are stretches where it's just like nothing there, just that silence in the car, and the road, it's so tranquil. It's like nothing you've ever felt before. And I will recommend it for anybody to do that. And then that was a 21-hour ride, and I promise you I will never do that again. I would never do that again.
Can we cuss on here?
Huh?
Can we cuss on here?
Yeah, I'm not PG-13.
Damn!
And then my second one was to, where were you? Pensacola, Florida.
Oh my God.
I drove 15 hours straight by myself. No help. By myself. But I will tell you, I was very, very cautious. I made sure my mom, my best friend Chelsea, and my husband was tracking me on our iPhones' geolocation, so they could see me the entire way. If I stopped for gas, if I did anything. I knew my husband was in class, so I would text my mom. I would still update him, but I would text my mom and my best friend and let them know I'm stopping for gas, I'm doing this, that, and the third. So they knew where I was. I was cautious.
There you go. Yeah.
And to and to piggyback off of what she was saying, I just recently did a briefing. Well, I'm in the Air Force now. I have to give a disclaimer that the Air Force and Uncle Sam and no part of the armed forces do not share this opinion that I do. As I stated before, I will make y'all mad with my opinion, so they do not share my personal perspective on certain topics, so I have to give that disclaimer. But I will say I just recently came from a briefing of a guy who did serve, and now he's working as a firefighter. He's a chief, and he stated basically always have a plan to come home. Whatever you do, make sure that you come home to your loved ones.
Yep.
So like she stated, when she drove 15 hours to come see me in Pensacola, Florida, by yourself, that's a very dangerous thing to do. You can do it. At the end of the day, just make sure you pack in some type of heat. You know what I'm saying? We all Americans at the end of the day.
I had a machete.
Yeah, we got the machete. We got, Big Mandingo over here in the corner posted whenever things pop off. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for the unfortunate soul receiving that blade. But at the end of the day, I got to live. And you should have that mindset too. You know what I'm saying? Always be compassionate for others. But at the end of the day, if somebody doing you wrong, you got to act accordingly. So if you taking big trips from, 15 hours, 10 hours, shit, even 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody on. People have their own amount of bullshit that they regulate and they justify.
Right.
You got to keep a level head. I'm not saying take a human life at any means necessary. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you got to defend yourself at, like Malcolm X said, by any means necessary, you got to make it home.
By any means.
By any means necessary, make it home. So do whatever you got to do to protect yourself. Get home safe back to your loved ones. Make sure you update them on your current location wherever you are. And have fun. We're not trying to make this podcast to make it seem like it's scary out there in the world, even though it is.
It is, but you just gotta be prepared.
You just gotta be prepared. Like Scar said off the Lion King, be prepared, even though he was a scumbag. and I hate to say that he was one of the brown skinned lions, but you know what I'm saying. He had some game for you.
Well, Socrates also said, without prior preparation, there surely be failure. With prior preparation, there surely be success. So you have to have some sort of preparation for anything, any act that you plan on doing, or with some kind of intent.
And I will say, anybody who knows me knows I'm more spiritual than religious. So I pray, but I don't pray often. But while I was on that ride, one of my prayers was, I just want to make it home to my son. I just want to see my husband and make it back home to my son. And one of the scariest things that happened is I hit a fat ass pothole. And my damn tire pressure sensor, that's the one thing I didn't want to happen that entire ride. But my damn tire pressure sensor was out because NTB broke one off my tire, and I gotta probably beep that name out, but the place who put my new tires on my car broke off one of my tire pressure sensors, and I have basically my car is a computer on wheels. I have a 2017 Jeep Renegade. So when you replace the tire pressure sensor on my car, you have to recalibrate all of them. And they didn't do that. So when I hit that pothole, my heart sank. And I'm sitting up there, I'm driving, I turned my music down, I did everything, and I was just so serious. And I'm like, okay, I don't hear no hissing, I'm still driving fine, I'm cool. It wasn't until almost an hour later that I got to the gas station to fill up that I realized I had a fat ass bubble in my tire. And I Googled, I'm a Googler, and if I need a question, if my mama don't know it, which I believe my mama is Google sometimes, I Google everything. So I Google, can I drive with a bubble in my tire? And it was just like all red, no, replace the tire as soon as possible because you could have a blowout. And I'm like, I'll call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I need you to locate where I am and find me a tire store, something, so I can get a new tire, like right now. And so she found me somewhere. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. Don't know nobody. Don't know where I am. Don't know what to do. And she found me an NTB there. They went there. They fixed my tire. $140 unexpectedly out of my pocket. Hit hard on my birthday. It was my birthday too. Driving 15 hours on my birthday. And I'm calling like legit.
But see, at least you had the money though. Yeah. Imagine if you didn't have the money.
I would have been fucked. I just would have been screwed because I called my mom. If anybody knows me, I have really bad anxiety. Like really bad anxiety, especially in high pressure situations where I have no control. And I had no control. If that bubble would have popped, I would have been fucked. I'm a decent driver, but I really don't know how to come out of a tailspin. I don't know how to like safely get to the side when one of my tires just blew up on me. Like, and then my ass watch a bunch of car crash videos before going on a road trip.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. You just set your mind up ready like, hey.
And so my mom's at work and I'm legit crying. I'm like, Mommy, I don't want to die. I just want to make it back home to Kai. That's all I want. And she was like, it's okay. Just get there, fix the tire, and keep on going. And I'm like, legit, I was 4 hours away from my destination. And when you driving and like you've already got like 12 hours under your belt and you got to stop, which made it took them like an hour to get everything situated. So I was supposed to get to Pensacola at 4. I didn't get there till 6.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it threw off my whole plan. I'm like, I'm gonna get to the hotel at 4. I'm gonna shower. We're gonna meet up. I get there at 6. I'm like, shit. I still got to shower. I'm not going to be able to see him that long. I was just like, this is just fucked up everything for the first night. And I was so tired. I was so tired. My 26th birthday, and I'm like, I love you, babe, but I'm sleepy. I really wanted him to just drop me off at the hotel and take the car, because I didn't want to drive back to the hotel after driving 15 hours. But like I said, you never know what happened. And I really didn't want to put my spare on, because from Ohio to Pensacola, that's damn near 1,000 miles. You're not really supposed to be driving nowhere like that on a spare. So I had to get a new tire.
Man, some people do. Some people don't care.
Some people reckless.
Some people use spares as they regular.
I have a husband and a child I want to come home to. So I take more caution than I used to. But now,
I get it.
I'm sorry, if you hear a dog in the background, that's because my neighbor has 2 dogs who bark at a bee.
And most likely that's the Great Pyrenees. He has a loud, deep bark. He think he the man of the house. Mm-hmm. So forgive us with that. We got our dog here, but he laying down right now, even though he been bad. But
bad as shit. We only had him for 3 days, though. We still train him.
We still getting him together, but you know, everybody in the house quiet except for Alexander.
All right, I got a question for y'all too.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you had a private jet for 4 days, where would y'all go and who would y'all take? Besides each other. Pick somebody else.
Besides each other, I'm taking the crew.
You only can take one other person.
One? Shit.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, because I either take my boy Shakir or my boy Chad. And we going out to
Where
Japan.
y'all go? Japan?
Yeah, we going to Tokyo straight up. We always wanted to go to Tokyo. We always wanted to venture out and see what they living like, you know what I'm saying? You know, avoid the Yakuza, of course, because you know they straight thorough. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it'll either be out to Cali or out to Tokyo.
Okay. What about you, Lex?
See, I can't go to Japan because I read, since I have visible tattoos, they won't let me into public pools. Because,
for real?
Yeah, visible tattoos.
That's a real thing?
They associate with, like Dre said, the Yakuza. So if you have visible tattoos, you are restricted from going to certain public areas.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I can't go there. But I would probably take... Honestly, I have some really dope friends, but out of everybody, my mom is like my best friend.
Okay.
Because I can go to her about anything, and we can have the time of our lives with just the 2 of us. And I feel like she deserves a dope-ass vacation. If I ever get enough money to where I can just send her somewhere, I would. But I would take my mom for sure, and we'd probably go to the Bahamas.
That's a good one.
Okay, Bahamas, I like that.
Yeah, take my mom to Bahamas. Because me and my mom, like, I would pick her up when I was back in Ohio. I would pick her up from work, and we'd go to the bar and just chill, get drinks. Because my best friend worked at a bar. Get that little friends and family discount.
You feel me?
Okay.
And I'm like, I could have a dope-ass time with my mom. Like, the 3 people that understand me the most, or at least try to understand me even when I don't. My mom, Dre, you, and my best friend Chelsea.
I was about to say, you better put me in there.
Because I'm like... Because Chelsea, my mom, especially after my diagnosis with bipolar, because I would have like these outbursts. And neither of us knew why. Neither of us understood why. Because I wasn't diagnosed until I was 22 that I was bipolar.
Ah, okay.
So I would have like these outbursts. And my mom, she just thought it was my anxiety. But the thing is, she always tried to understand, and she always tried to like bring me down and like bring me back. And with my best friend Chelsea, she always tries to like reasons with me. She was like, "Well, Lexi, I understand where you're coming from, but we need to do better." Dre, he always comes from the logical side. Like because I'm an emotional person. fully and true and wholeheartedly, I'm an emotional person, and I'm never going to apologize for being an emotional person. I'm never going to apologize for being me. And Dre is very logical. In the moment, I may not always see or understand where he's coming from, because emotions and logic are like oil and water. So once I actually calm down and the dust has settled, I see his point, and he brings that sort of calm to the storm when it needs to. And with you, you're like, all I can say is like, we're two peas in a pod. You have your emotional side and you have your logical side, and you can play both parts really well. And you're very understanding. Like that past conversation we had just like last week or whenever it was, like we had a full conversation about everything both of us was going through. And it wasn't like we didn't miss a beat. Like, we understood where both of us was coming from. We understood how we felt and how things were. And it was just like a nice, chill conversation. Like anybody else I've been around, they either like, oh girl, get over it, or she tripping, she dramatic. And it's not that I'm dramatic. It's not always I can control the emotions that I am giving off. And that is a frustration to me, because how annoying is it that you can't control your own emotion?
Yeah.
Like, the one thing you feel like you can't control is yourself, but with bipolar disorder, it's not always like that, especially when you're in a manic stage. That shit is exhausting.
I bet.
Because you get and one of the things about my manic stage is you get all these grandiose ideas. Like, I have had so many business ideas. Like, I'm about to start a towing company. I'm about to start a t-shirt company. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then when I come out of these manic stages, I'm like, damn, I just invested all of this energy into these things, and it's just like, bitch, you need to chill. And I'm like, the podcast came out of a manic stage for me, because it's times where I don't sleep, and it's times where I really feel like I don't need to sleep, and it's times where I feel like I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep. But it was just one of those nights. I was up until like 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing my son was gonna wake up at 6. And I'm like, I just want to talk. I want to share my ideas. I want an outlet, because you can't always talk to your significant other or your best friends or whatever, but you want to get it out. And writing just wasn't doing it for me no more. So I'm like, I want to talk. But after the fact, that's why I procrastinated so long with it. After the fact, I'm like, can I really do this? Is this something I should do? Like, what if I fail? It's just like those, like you get on this high, and then once you're coming down from this high, all the doubts and the fear and the anxiety sets in. It's just like, because that's what bipolar is. It's a roller coaster of highs and lows. And it's just like, can I do this? But I had 3 dope people telling me I can do this. I feel like you'll be really good at this. It's something that you can succeed in. And I feel like if it wasn't for y'all, you, Chelsea, and Dre, I probably wouldn't be doing this right now. And I'm excited. I'm nervous. You probably can hear my voice has been shaking. I got butterflies in my tummy. But I'm excited to do this because I want to make something out of this. I can't see myself doing anything else right now. And that has been...
That's good.
Yeah. It's been hard because I'm 26. And I'm like, what's my purpose? What do I want to do? What's my passion? And I feel like everybody knows what they want to do, or everybody is figuring out what they want to do. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm here. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with me. And this is something I really want to do. Like, it may not be perfect, and it's something I'm going to have to work on and learn more about. But this is the first thing I'm excited about in a very long time.
I will add in there. If it feels really good when you finally find something, and then like latches onto, and it's almost like you can't waver it. It doesn't matter what goes on in your outer world. All you can think about is like, what do you want to do with this thing, this this passion or this like love or something that you want to do. It is a really good feeling. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter if like your whole world is crumbling down. All you can think about is like, okay, how can I still make my dream work? How can I still be able to like achieve it, even though all this crap is like going on.
Yep.
And to like, actually, Shango, we went off on a bit of a tangent. Who would you take on your little journey?
I was hoping you was gonna skip me, but since you
Nah. You ain't finna skip nothing. You ain't finna skip Nathaniel this way. Go ahead, Carvel.
You funny. Oh man, you a comedian. You should get a stand up. Anyway, sheesh, guy. Okay, it's a toggle between two people right now. I know I gotta pick one, but it's like it depends on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Me and my ex, we work things out right now, and if we do end up working things out, I would love to teach some. I also would like to take my dad to some, because me and him are talking about different foods, and like he's a really good cook, and I would like to take him to places like Indonesia, Vietnam, because like their street food, I'm telling you, they make that stuff look good on TV.
Yeah, Vietnam street food looking a little bit tasty, because I've been looking up some stuff. So yeah, you right about that. But Shanga, you not to cut you off, you getting a little bit of a poor connection. I don't know where you at right now. Okay. I don't know if you close to the router or the modem or whatever.
I'm close.
Basically, what I'm saying, or what he's saying, is get your shit together.
I'm trying, man. Look, it's complicated on my side. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
we can hear you now. Go back to where you said you would take your ex.
Oh, you didn't hear none of that? Okay, anyway. Well, I'm working things out with my ex.
How come you can take her, but we can't take each other?
Yeah, explain that one. Black man.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Fine, since I don't want to be all technical and shit. Fine. I'm taking my dad.
Technically, she was your significant other.
Well, I'm just saying, if we do work things out, I would definitely like to take her. But if not, I'm taking my dad.
Okay.
Eat it, okay? Man, I'm about technical and shit.
We got to take that on the chin. It's okay. Get yours off. It's okay.
Man, y'all funny. Oh, I did have a question for Dre though.
Okay.
What is it like, living with someone?
Get your shit together, Shango.
What?
Your connection.
You said, what's it like living with someone?
What is it like living with someone, or dealing with someone, or trying to communicate or understand someone that deals with, like mental challenges or bipolar?
I would say it's tough, because like she said earlier, I think more with my logical side instead of my emotional side. And I will say that in a general sense, for any relationship to work, you gotta kind of meet in the middle. It's like you gotta stop putting egos at the forefront of it and kind of see where they coming from. Mm-hmm. So with Lexi, right, it was like how I grew up. It was kind of like, you going through some traumatic shit. All right, we here for you, but you got to be strong at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You can't let that afflict the bigger picture or the grand design, so to speak, of what you want to accomplish. So I kind of lost that feeling after a while. And I kind of wanted Lexi to see shit from my perspective, but I couldn't see shit from her perspective. So when she started breaking it down as if she can't control her emotions, I started thinking like, oh, snap. What is it like when you can't control how you feel? What is it like when you can't control how you think? And that's a real issue. That's the core value of what mental health is that you can't control it. Like, the shit is sporadic. Like, it just happens. So I kind of had to I kind of had to take my blows. I kind of had to, you know, take my lumps, so to speak. Like,
yes. While that hard pill, you know.
Yeah, I kind of had to put my ego to the side and say, you know what, I'm gonna see stuff through my wife's perspective and see how she feel. Because if she can't control her emotions, I can't control them. Because she her own person. Mm-hmm. She does stuff that makes her feel better. Makes her feel calm, and for her to feel sound with herself. So I can't jurisdict that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no Joseph Stalin ass nigga out here. You feel me? I kind of like had to meet her in the middle and see what she was going through. Now a lot of times I still piss her off with my logical side, because I be trying to get her to see, like, look, you tripping. You gotta see shit from my perspective, blase. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of build a rapport with your significant other to try to make the relationship work, so that y'all two can come to a resolve. Because that's the biggest thing, is a resolve. You gotta figure out the solution versus the problem. Because you know what the problem is. A lot of people like problems, and if I can go on the tangent for a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and preach to the congregation that us as a society, as American people, we are manufactured to like bullshit. We love reality TV, even though reality TV ain't nothing but scripted drama. We love our own drama, and we're not doing enough coming up with solutions to our problems. We just like to focus on the problem. And after a while,
other people's problems.
Right. And once you start bottling up problems, like your problems, other people's problems, you kind of get a negative perspective on life, and that's kind of bad. So you gotta kind of, sometimes what I feel is you gotta kind of let the bullshit go. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, not try to usurp anybody else's opinion. You gotta go with what is good for, like, the masses. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question shortly and to summarize, you gotta you gotta meet in the middle. Stop trying to put your ego at the forefront. Stop trying to usurp your significant other. Because if you really love this person, you gotta meet in the middle. Yeah. You gotta stop thinking logically and think sometimes, well, what if I was in that situation? Let me put their shoes on my feet for a second. Let me look at their lens. Let me look at their scope and see how they work it with.
It's so important, I believe, in most relationships.
And to touch on something he said, communication is key. Mm-hmm. But also with communication, if there's no reception to that communication, it's like you're talking to a wall. If that person isn't, like, taking in what you're saying and understanding what you're saying, you can say the same thing over and over again, but it's not going to penetrate them at all. And that's something a lot of us have to work on, because, like I just saw you post earlier, a lot of us listen to reply and not to actually listen to what the person is saying.
Right, to understand, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's something we both had to work on, because I feel like both of us are reactive people. And it was times where we both just wanted our points to be heard. And instead of, we can, in the moment, we can be like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. Right. And it was just like, it honestly took us, I'm going to speak on my term, it took him to be away at basic training for me to truly soak in everything we've been through. And every argument we had, every conversation we had, to understand, Lexi, you have to work on something internally. Mm-hmm. And his time away, I did. I had my son go over to my mom's and my aunt's house for a couple of days, and I just took a few days to myself. And just to realize, like, you are dealing with this issue. This issue, he didn't cause it. He isn't the reason for this. And he can't fix it, but he can be there for you. Mm-hmm. That's what I had to understand, because as soon as my dad passed away, I felt like Dre needed to be everything he was for me. And it was just like, I can't put that on him. Mm-hmm. That's not his role. His role is my husband. His role is to be supportive to me as my husband. And that's all.
Right. Like a lot of, I would say, generally speaking, a lot of women who have father issues look for their significant other to be their father. And we gotta, as a society, stop letting that happen. Your father is your father. He made the decisions that he wanted to make. Now, this is the part where earlier I gave my disclaimer that y'all won't like my opinion. But as my man Corey Holcomb said, your mama dragged your daddy away for a reason. There was a reason why your mama dragged your daddy away. You never got to hear his side of the story. So you got to kind of be open-minded to both perspectives. Now, I'm going to say this to piggyback off of what Lexi said. I'm not here to fulfill the father role. I'm here just to be spouse. I'm here just to be husband. I'm just here just to be,
that mountain.
Right. So whatever problems that you have with your father, try to get in contact with your father if you can. I know a lot of times it's hard. I know a lot of times as men, we like to be prideful and we like, our egos to jump up in the fucking way. But at the end of the day, if you have children, fathers, I'm talking to y'all, try to be there for your kids and explain to them as best as you can why it didn't work out with their mother, and try to be there for your kids so that the child can have a different perspective on the mother-father relationship. Because you don't necessarily have to have a relationship as parents in order to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can raise them separately. And I think as a society, we got used to I want a big house with a white picket fence, and I want to be like grandma and grandpa and have rocking chairs and shit like that. I want to be together for 60 years, and sometimes that shit just don't work out. And even if it do work out, I'm going to go on my little tangent again. I used to work at a nursing home where I seen a married couple who been married for about 40, 50 fucking years, and they was arguing nonstop. So I'm like, yo, to put the scenario into place, I'm up here pushing down the cart trying to serve trays, and he like, oh, you don't respect me, you disrespected me in front of all these people, blah blah blah, you don't love me, all this other shit. And she like, nah, da 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 da. I do love you, I do respect you, da 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 da. And it's kind of like, I get that y'all put on y'all Instagram post that y'all want the rocking chairs and everything like that, but you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Point blank, period. You might not have that picket fence or that rocking chair with the person that you with. So, you gotta do some reflecting. I ain't saying nothing. All I'm saying is you gotta live life as what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to fathers being in the role of their children, even if you're not with their mother, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a deadbeat dad. That just means that, I know in some cases.
No. What I wanted to say is, it's these vindictive moms out there also.
That's true.
Who keep the children away from the fathers. Mm-hmm. And that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Like, God forbid anything happened between me and Dre to where we're not together anymore. The last thing I would ever do in my life would keep Kai away from him.
Right. And we had conversations about that too.
Yeah, I would never do that. Like, when my mom and my dad separated, I was at his house every weekend. I'm like, if it was up to me, if I didn't want to go, if I didn't want to do anything with my dad, my mom never kept me away from him. My mom, that was never her mentality, and that would never be my mentality. That's not okay. If your ex moves on, don't punish your child because you're not happy. And I get making boundaries, because I would like if me and Dre were to separate and he started dating somebody else, don't just be Amy, Ashley, and Tamara around my kid.
Or Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah. Like, be with that person for a significant amount of time, so like, this is somebody I do want to have in my life, and then have me meet them, so I know that this person has good intentions with my child. Because all these little babies coming up dead because these mamas having anybody and everybody, they boyfriends watching their kids, and this stuff happening. No, I will kill for mine. Mm-hmm. You can't just have anybody and everybody around your children, and that sets a precedent for them as they grow up. It's like, well, daddy and mommy had everybody around me, so this is what I'm used to, and that's not okay. You can't keep your child away from their father, especially if the father wants to be in their life. Mm-hmm. And men, I was gonna add, and men,
sometimes the other parent, not even just talking about the dad, but sometimes the other parent is not good for the child.
Yeah,
you as the parent, the conscious parent, should be aware of that, because just because the other parent wants to be in their life, but if they're not stable or if they're dealing with like their own issues, and sometimes you got to keep them away from the child from seeing that, because you don't want your child to see you as the parent or the other parent in a really bad spot. And
you got to be protective.
I'm talking about like really bad though. I mean, like, it's different if they're still working on things and like trying to build stuff up, and but if they're dealing with other issues, I think it's your duty to really protect your children from certain people.
Exactly. As a parent, you got to think at the forefront what's best for my child.
Right. And if you're dropping your kid off somewhere where drug deals happen and prostitution and or abuse happens, and maybe it's not abuse to your own child.
You know what I'm saying? Click, clack, pow. Officer down ass niggas.
Yeah. I just feel like you need to be decisive, especially in the situation you're talking about. If your co-parent isn't in a position to actually provide and take care of that child, then do public dates, like play dates. Take them, go to the mall with them. Take them to places where it's supervised, so they can still see them, but they're not in a dangerous environment. Right. But don't just keep the child away from the parent. I just feel like that's just vindictive. It's wrong. And if you need time to heal. Let them know, I'm still not over you. I'm not okay with this. Just don't bring them around my child right now. Let me meet them eventually. You have to communicate. That's the part of co-parenting. Mm-hmm. You have to communicate. I don't know how well my parents communicated, but I know when it was time for me to go to my daddy's house or my mama's house, I was there.
Right, they put their bullshit to the side for the betterment of the child.
I'm I never saw them bicker back and forth for who was gonna get me, who turn it was. It was just you going to your daddy's this weekend. I'm all right. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I see you on Sunday before school. But it's just it's a lot, and I ain't gonna get into my daddy issues right now. We'll say that for another episode.
Yeah, that's another topic. I know we went on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah, we completely switched topics.
But Sean,
we definitely.
If you want to close out that little topic that we just went on a tangent on,
yeah.
Who?
Asking the non-father to close the father.
Me. Oh, man. Use names. You just say you. I'm
he said Shango.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I did. I did. Oh. You heard me.
All right. Well, I did want to add, when Lexi was talking about, when she actually had, when she sat down and, started asking herself or telling herself, pretty much owning it up, hey, he's not these things, or he's not responsible for these things. That takes a really strong person to do that. Mm-hmm. You're putting aside ego, pride, and you're owning up to your own, mistakes and your own misjudgments. That takes a lot, because most people just simply can't do that. They can't even fathom thinking about even doing that.
Mind you, I was on medication too. It took my medication to help me get there.
Think about it. Because if you never did that, your guys' relationship probably would not as gone as far as is gone now. You know, it took a lot for you to make that change and come to that realization. Like, wait a minute, he's not responsible for me. You know, I'm responsible for me. You know, he's there for my support. You know, when I need it, but he's not responsible for me and my actions and to fix me. That takes a lot. Trust me. Like I've seen people, met people, like they just cannot go that far. They can't even think like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I really hold my hands up to you. That takes a lot to do that.
And it took me to miss him. Like, literally, we've been together almost every single day since we've been together. And we've had times where we were apart, but we always were in communication. But it took me to miss him. And he was gone. Like, from the time he left for basic training, from the time I saw him again, like, minus the vacation and the holidays, he was gone for almost, 5 months? And
yeah, beer 6.
Yeah, he left me too, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh my God.
It took me to realize, like, he's gone. And what if this was a permanent situation? Like, what if we weren't together again? What if I wasn't able to see him again? And it was like, I want this person in my life. I like this person in my life. So what do I need to do to keep this person in my life?
Right. See, those are very valuable, high quality questions that you're asking yourself right there. And that's really good. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
And it took a lot. Like I said, I needed to be by myself because I got so wrapped up in everything. I'm like, because seriously, the series of events that happened that really like affected me and changed who I was as a person was when I was pregnant. My aunt passed away, which was like a second mom to me. Right after I had Kai, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And then he passed away in April. My grandma passed away 4 months later. My grandfather passed away a month after my grandfather. So I lost 4 significant people in my life, literally back to back. And it was just like, it was a blow. It changed who I was. Because I had never, I've lost people, but they weren't, I was too young to actually know who they were, or too young to like actually feel anything about it.
Right.
But when I lost my dad, my aunt, my grandmother, and my grandfather, literally back to back, that changed me. And it was just like, this person is still here. This person can still be in my life. What can I do to dig my way out of this black hole? And make me a better me, and for us as a unit. So that's what I had to do. And it helped.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah, it helped. Because I'm like, when I said I do, I meant it. I want to be with you. It wasn't just for fun. It wasn't just for a wedding. We got married in my mama's living room. If I wanted to get married just for a wedding, I would have been like, no, I want to go all out. I want this. I want that. I'm like, no. I didn't care where we got married or how we got married. I just wanted to be with him. I just wanted that union with him. That's all I wanted. And that's all I continue to want. Like, I don't know where he was getting at, talking about, if it don't work out, it don't work out. No, we gonna work it out.
Now, as I said in my disclaimer, a lot of times that it don't work out. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't specifically talking about us. I was talking about people that, because as we stated before, there's a lot of vindictive people, both male and female, mother and father. And if you have children in the mix, that's not good for them. So if y'all don't work it out at the end of the day, y'all gotta be respectful to the child and say, look, even though I'm dating blase, whoever, my child comes first at the end of the day.
Definitely.
And I can go on a tangent about how we gotta stop raising these soy boys, we gotta stop raising these hoe girls, whatever.
Your
you know what I'm
tangent
saying?
made us to go 55 minutes. This is supposed to be 30 minutes.
Look, this is organic talk.
I'm gonna have to break this up into 2 episodes.
But at the end,
right in 2 episodes. There you go.
But at the end of the day, it's like as parents, we got to do what's best for the child, even if y'all not together. That's just my whole point. So,
yeah.
But to piggyback on that, the reason why a lot of people get divorced nowadays, because when shit get hard, y'all don't want to work it out. Go to therapy. Y'all invest in nothing. Black people, therapy is okay.
it's okay.
It is okay. Go talk to somebody.
Because sometimes you might not see something from somebody who's close to you. You might not see their perspective. So it take an unbiased opinion for you to understand. Because they could say the exact same thing that your spouse or your mom, dad, whoever, you know what I'm saying, they can say the exact same thing. It just don't hit until somebody from an unbiased source come through and say the same shit. It might resonate with you more.
And I will say, when I talked to a therapist, it was a lot easier for me to talk to someone who didn't know me personally, who didn't know my background, who couldn't judge me off of my past experiences with them. They were there to listen to me. And they're not there to tell you, well, no, this is wrong. They're there to show you, like, hey, if this action you did to somebody else, if it happened to you, how would you feel about that? They show you, like, your negative actions, you see that as wrong. Like, they're not saying, well, no, you shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third. They're not there to reprimand you. They're there to show you could do better. Things will get better. You will be okay. It's just like, go talk to somebody. Stop. And I'm not to be negative towards the religious people. You can't pray away everything.
Nope.
You just can't.
Because I go to another topic about that, but I ain't gonna start.
Yeah, that's a different topic.
I ain't even gonna start.
No, just to get into, like, especially with my mental health awareness. When I was diagnosed with bipolar, I love some of my family to death. But what irritated me was, oh, baby, just pray on it. Just pray on it. I get it. Most High, whatever you believe in, spirituality, Allah, Buddha, like, whatever it is.
Jehovah, Yahshua, Chakra Varden, whoever you pray to.
I'm like, it is
Barack Obama.
It is okay to have an outlet to pray to, but that outlet will not fix the chemical imbalance in your brain. You need therapy. You need the proper medication, which takes multiple times, because I've been on 3 different medications since my diagnosis, because you have to find the right one for you, the right one for your chemical imbalance, because the first one had me paranoid as shit. I was making sure I had my exit plan marked everywhere I went. I thought people was sneaking up behind me. I'm like, no, we gotta switch this. I can't live like this. It takes time. It takes the right medication. It takes the right people, and it takes a support system. And this is where families come in. You have to be there. Even if you don't understand it, you can set up, well, can I go to a therapy session with you? Can we set up a family therapy session? Can we get somebody to help me understand what you're going through? There's websites, there are pamphlets, there's everything. Because when a person is newly diagnosed, they don't even understand it. They don't get it. They're dealing with a whole new normal for them. So it takes time. And like I said, the support system you choose, you guys have to take the time with that person. Do your research. Like, shit, YouTube is accessible to everybody.
And Google. I'm sick of people asking me fucking questions when they can easily fucking Google the shit. Hey Dre, what's 2 plus 2?
Yeah.
Nigga, Google the shit. I'm asking you though, bro. I ain't got time to Google that shit. I'm sick of people like that, bro.
Because when I found out, I didn't understand it. Shit, I still don't understand every in and out of bipolar 2 disorder. I don't. But I found a YouTube page called Bipolar Warriors, and the dude, he's boring as shit, but he's very informative. And I would send videos to my mom and my husband for them to watch. And I'm like, well, this is what I feel like, but I don't know how to tell that to you. So I'm going to let this video tell you. So it's like, it's okay to pray. It's okay to call to your religion, but also seek help.
Right. Like we said before, that unbiased opinion, it may open some new perspectives for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you feel in any type of way it's harming yourself or anybody, there are outlets, there are numbers to call, there are people to go to, there are hotlines. Reach out to somebody.
Seek help, man.
Because,
I will also add, it is very important to have a support system, but I think it's equally, if not more important, to get rid of people that are in your life. And not like in a permanent way, but more like just separate yourself from people that are just not good for you, or that don't help you, or don't support you.
Right.
Even family members as close as like, I'm not saying you, but like hypothetically, let's say maybe a mom, a brother, or an uncle, and if they always the ones that are your triggers, you need to stay away from those people. You can love them from afar.
Yep.
I think that I really do practice in a peaceful detachment. It doesn't mean you dislike or not love
peaceful detachment. I like that.
You have to be able to, huh?
I said I like that peaceful detachment. I like that.
Yeah, peaceful detachment doesn't mean you have to ignore them or avoid them, but you don't have to associate yourself with them.
Definitely.
Especially if they're your triggers or they're not good for you. Just some people out there are just simply not good for you, and it's your responsibility to stay away from those people, especially if it's good for you.
Y'all both know I don't hesitate to cut people off, especially when I feel like, I'm not saying I'm in friendships that mutually just benefit me, but I feel like when it comes to the point where we can no longer be a positive influence in each other's lives, I feel like it's time to go.
That's it. No hard feelings, but it's not good for you, and most likely it's not good for the other person either. So
yeah. And if you don't understand it, and if you don't get it, then that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm like, I've let go of family members, I have let go of friends, because in all my peace is my priority. And if you don't bring me peace, there's no need for me to have you in my life anymore, because I have a husband and a child I need to be there for. And if I'm in constant anxiety and constant depression, what good am I to them?
Right.
So I will always say, peace is your priority. You can't pour from an empty cup. Stop trying to fill other people's cups.
Look at the okay.
Shut up.
Getting philosophical in this motherfucker.
Right, she said from an empty cup. Okay,
you can't. When I was early 20s, I was constantly in and out of the ER because panic attacks, stress. I was so stressed out, my body physically hurt and ached to the point where I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't do anything, because I still am a giver. I always want to help somebody. I always want to help fix somebody. I always want to help be there for somebody. And it got to the point where I gave so much that there was nothing left for me. And it was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't constantly be there for other people, and I didn't get that reciprocated back to me.
I would like to add to that.
Yeah.
I remember I was riding in the car one day with my dad, and we were at a stoplight, and this guy came up to the window and he was like, "Hey man, I just need a couple bucks to get on the bus." And he started to go on to a spill about why he needs the money, where he's going. My dad was like, "I don't even know where you're going. That's not my business." And he handed him like $5. I'm like, how do you know he's going to actually use it? He's like, it's not my responsibility. He said he needed it. I had it. I gave it. So that to me was a lesson to me. Give what you got. Give because you want to give and not expect anything in return, but don't give when you don't have anything, like you said.
Yeah.
Always good to give when you have it. But if you don't have it, you shouldn't beat yourself up because you don't have it.
Yeah.
To think of it like maybe you weren't the person that's supposed to give to that person.
Yeah.
Think that way.
I realize it like the saying goes, when one door closes, another one opens. Sometimes my door need to stay closed. You gotta find another entryway.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's not. You want to be a kind person. You want to be a giving person. But this world is so jaded and people are so self-serving that it becomes draining. And then you become jaded. And then you become self-serving. Like, well, I don't want to help y'all no more. I don't want to do this. Because it's not like I'm doing something to get something out of it. But shit, a thank you would be nice.
Right.
A text, hey, how you doing? You okay? Just want to check up on you. Not the only time I hear from you is when you want something, you need a ride, you need money, this, that, and the third. It's just like, hey, I love you. I miss you. I'm checking up on you. And then maybe if I got that more, I would be more inclined to be like, hey, Lex, I'm in the strap. Can you help me out? Yeah, sure. I got you. But when you be like, hey, I ain't talked to you in 3 weeks, but I need $20. I ain't got it. That's like simply, I've gotten to the point where I ain't got it.
I need a ride to the airport, ass nigga.
Right. I ain't got it. I can't. I just can't anymore. And it's not like I'm the type of person where I'm horrible at keeping communication with people. But if I think about you, if you cross my mind and this, that, and the third, I'll shoot you a text. I'll hit you up, be like, hey, checking on you, seeing how you doing, this, that, and the third. We ain't got to talk every day. We ain't got to talk all the time. I just like shit, but I know who I can go to if I need something, because it's not one-sided.
Right. I get that. That's fair.
But I've gotten to a point where, like I said, my peace is my priority. It's just like I can't always help everybody, and I hate those people who get mad at you when you say no, like you was just automatically supposed to say yes.
Well, you know what? From the late Steve Jobs, he said you will find success when you start saying no. And I was like, really?
Yes.
When you think about it, when you start saying no to certain people and they get upset, they just told you not to mess with those people because they're only there for what you got.
Yes.
If they really get upset and because you said no, like, come on now. You don't need them in your life then.
And the worst offenders be like your best friends that you know since like kindergarten and your family and shit. And my thing is, what I needed to realize, especially about friends, I had a friend that we were friends since 8th grade. Damn near 10 years. And it wasn't until our friendship had to cease to exist anymore that I realized it's not about the time you know somebody, it's about the quality of friendship. Because I've known you for going on 5-6 years now?
No, it's only been 2 years.
Shut up. I've known you for a long time.
Since 2014, 2015. When did you start working?
2014.
At Home Depot.
At Home Depot, 2014.
So yeah, you know me since 2014.
Yeah, so I'm closer to you, even though we don't talk every day and all the time. I'm closer to you than the people I've known since I was in kindergarten.
Okay, climbing up. Climbing up the level, totem pole,
Like my best friends, the people I call best friends, I've only known since 2013 to now.
Wow.
Yep. It's just I realized the older I got, the more I realized people they see me as a benefit in some type of way. They only hand up when it benefits them, and I need that type of person in my life, including family.
Yeah, once you come to that realization, it's hard because especially with family, been, had a relationship with them probably since birth, and now you got to kind of like, in a peaceful way, detach themselves from you. You know, it's kind of hard, but it's necessary, especially for your growth.
Definitely. It takes time. And it takes you to realize your worth to be able to like let somebody go. Right. Especially when they've been around for a while. Dre went to go feed our kid. So I'm waiting for him to come back so we can close this out, because we started with the three of us. I want to close it out with the three of us, because this thing has been an hour and 11 minutes and it was supposed to be a half an hour show. So if you're still listening, thank you. If you aren't, well, oh fucking well.
They'll come around.
Right. But bear with me. Not all the episodes are going to be this long. Some of them be shorter. Some of them be longer. It just depends on what our topics are, what we're talking about. And like I said, I want our conversations on my podcast to be organic. I don't want anything to be scripted. I want everyone to feel relatable or related to. So these guys will be on again. Like I said, either regular or semi-regular, because GoShan, he is a music producer. That is his baby, his full-time, his dream. Okay. So he can't always be on. My husband, if he want to do it, he'll pop on. And with my friend Chelsea, you guys haven't met her yet, but she does work a very she works second shift, so if I'm recording on weekends, it might be a go, depending on how she feel. But I'll have other people on. We'll have different topics. I hope you guys bear through and stuck with it. I am still learning. I'm still growing, and I hope you guys grow with me. I was nervous as hell. My husband let me take a shot at his drink so I could calm my nerves. It's like when you want something to go well and you want to be good at it, it's just like the pressure's on.
Right. But I mean, after a while, you're going to get used to it, and you're going to be like, all right, you ready for the show? Let's go. Bam. Right.
And please, I will get better at my intro. I know my voice was a little shaky. Mommy. Hi, baby. If you heard that little voice, that was my son. But, Shango, if you want to give out your socials again, go ahead and do that.
Hi, Shango.
Hey, what's up, man? What you doing?
What up?
Wow. Oh, man, so cute. So, wait, what?
Just keep going, it's fine.
Social across the board, Twitter, Instagram. It's going to be GoShanBeatz, GoShanBeatz__. That's going to be on all platforms. You can find me on my website also at GoShanBeatz.com. I upload daily. And yeah, thank you for having me, Lex.
He does upload daily. His beats are really, really good. You will be able to find some of them on my website. I will link my website below. My Instagram is the Beaucier Experience. That's just it. Beau is spelled B-O-W, not B-O or B-O-E. B-O-W. The Beaucier Experience. I do have a Patreon, so if you do want to support, go find my Patreon. I will link everything in the description below. I thank you guys for listening. If you want to give your outro, babe.
Damn, did y'all do Father Talk? Or did we do that already?
We already did that.
Well, I was busy downstairs feeding the kids. But, yeah, please tune in. Appreciate y'all for listening. Come back. We got more fire content for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
If y'all want to hear me go on my little tangents anymore, hit me up.
He'll probably be on here often.
You know,
if not pop in while I'm recording to say something.
Oh, we said often.
Often. So, you know what I'm saying? Tune in again. We got more fire content for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay blessed up. Do what y'all got to do. Holla at your boy. I get money.
Oh, yeah. And don't quote me on this. do have a YouTube page. We don't have anything on there yet. We will be recording soon. I don't know. We just haven't really been recording, but we will start. And pretty soon on my personal YouTube page, I will start recording the podcast and doing probably vlogs, showing you the daily life, because, you know, as of right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Shout out to the stay-at-home moms. This shit ain't easy. It gets boring. But once again, thank you guys for listening. This is the Boast of Your Experience. Aim high. Make sure you put yourself first. Your patience is a priority. Meditate.
Meditate.
And we'll see you guys later.